have a new toy. It's an original. It's the new L850 Air Threader Serger. So what I'm going to do is show you a real quick project, a little mug rug like this, that is a quilt-as-you-go project that can be done on the serger. So we'll have some kits here of pre-cut fabric and batting and things like that for you to make this if you want to sit down and try out this serger. So I'm just going to show you quickly the steps that are involved in making this this mug rug. So I'm going to start with what I want for my center fabric, which is this. This is a piece that's 3 by 9, so I've cut that. And then I've made a sandwich with a piece of batting, a thin batting, and 2 pieces of what I want my contrast fabric to be. I'm going to stack those 2 together, and I'm going to align the edges along the right side here so that I've got all those edges aligned. And then I'm going to take, again, that accent fabric, and it's going to go on top like this, face down, and then 1 more piece of batting. Now, will you believe it? The serger is going to sew these all together, and it's going to serge the edges so that you've got a nice piece already finished. I'm holding them together with the wonder clips as opposed to pins, because the last thing you want to do with the serger is to sew over pins. Okay, so the machine's been threaded, it's all ready to go. So I'm going to lift the presser foot. I'm going to put this underneath here, and I may need to, because I've got so many thicknesses there, I may need to press down on that just a little bit to get that to go underneath there. And so now I'm simply going to serge down through here, and it's cutting the edges off as I go. And I'm trying to keep the edge of the fabric right along the edge of the foot. Just like that. Okay, and you can see the nice edge that you get, all encased and everything. And then when you open this up and clip these, if I've done it right, this folds out this way, this one folds out like so, and now you've got those pieces that are together and already quilted. Okay, so ideally I would take this to the iron and press this down really well to make sure that it was nice and flat. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm just showing you how this works. Okay, so that's got the first 2 parts done. Now for the last part, I want to take let's see if I can remember how to do this. There's got to be, this piece goes on the back, and I'm aligning the edges here just like we did before. And then this piece on the top, and again another piece of batting. All I had to do to set this up was to set the tensions on here. I'm using a 3-thread overlock stitch. So I only needed to thread 1 needle. Okay, instead of having 2 in there, I only needed 1. So I'm using a 3-thread overlock stitch, and I've got the cutting width set at 6.5. I've got it so that it's not doing a rolled hem. I've got the MTC on 0, a stitch length of 2.5, and a differential feet of 1. Okay, so now that I've got those together, I'm going to put a clip right here in the middle until I get to it. Got the mask off. Okay, so that's going there. Presser foot's up. I'm going to put this down underneath it and sew, and I'm ready to go. So again, I'm trying to keep that in line right there with the edge of the fabric. And that's that one done. Okay, now essentially the mug rug is quilted and done. So I'm going to open that out. Again, that opens this way. This one opens out like that. And I've got my little mug rug. Now what I want to do is to, and you could do this with a quilt too, is to go ahead and serge all the way around the edges to hold all these together. Now again, ideally this would have gone a lot better had I taken this to the ironing board and pressed it, but we're just trying to show you how this works right now. So I've got that folded over fairly well. I'll hold it down with clips just to see if I can keep it together here. Okay, so now I'm just simply going to go around the outside edge of this. And again, this would be a great way to go to with your, if you're finishing a quilt before you put your binding on. So I'm going to go down this edge. When I get to right here, I'm going to leave the, well, I'm not going to leave the needle down. I'm going to come off to the edge like so. Okay? Then I'm going to lift this up. And I think I'll cut that off there so it doesn't get hung up in there. One thing when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you kind of keep that cutting blade clear of any fabric or anything. Okay. Take it out a little bit further. And I could go underneath the cutting blade and cut it off with it, but I just like to do it this way. There's no telling what this is going to come out looking like. As quickly as we've done it. And you see you got a nice little catch bin here to catch all your leftovers so you don't make a big mess on your sewing room floor. You got it all in one little place there. And you can see how easily this is going through several layers of fabric, cutting, sewing nicely. There's several layers of fabric at one time. Okay, now what I can do if I want to, I can actually use the serger to apply the binding as well. So I could take my binding, what am I doing with my little scissors here? I can take my binding and I can start with that binding. What I've done is just fold a diagonal corner there. So I could start with my binding, and actually I should have folded it the other way. Let's see if I can, yeah, it should have gone the other way, but we'll do it this way for right now. Let me fold it right. I'm sorry. Let's fold it this way. Okay, so I want that nice diagonal fold right there. I hope this will go all the way around now that I folded it back this way. But at any rate, we'll fold this down like so. And what we're going to do in a little bit is to slip that tail. When we get around there, we're going to slip that in. So I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room. I'll start about right here. So I can serge down to here, come off the edge, fold it up, fold it back down, serge down through there. Just like when you're doing, just like you're doing any kind of application, you can do it with the serger just as well as you can do it with the sewing machine. And when you get around to here, just slip that in right in there, and you've got it done. So let's see how long this takes. Okay, I'll make sure I leave myself a little tail there. So I'm going to come down through here. I'm not going to cut a whole lot off this time. When I get to right there, I kind of want to lift it up just a little. I could use my knee lift here and do that in my hands-free system. There is a hands-free system on the serger that'll let you lift it up. Trim that. We'll fold this back. like so. Just folding it like that, and then I'm folding it right back along here, just like you normally do with binding when you're applying binding. And I'm hoping this is going to be long enough when I get back around there. But I'll show you after I do this one side. We'll look and see what this looks like so you get a feel for it. Okay, let's see if I can do it right this time. I'll use my knee lift system to kind of lift the presser foot over a little bit and move that around. Okay. Oops. You can tell I haven't done a lot of serging. And which is the neat thing about this machine. You don't have to have had a whole lot of experience doing serging because it's so easy. It's the threading, which is the thing that scares most people about serging, is the threading. You don't have to worry about that here. All you gotta do is stick it in that little hole and push the button and it threads itself, the upper and lower loopers. And then there's an automatic thread, or not an automatic, a semi-automatic threader for the needles too. So you can thread the right and the left needle using the serging. And again, I'm doing this in a hurry, so I'm not doing it right. It's not going to end up being square because I'm trying to just to show you how this works.
I'm still doing the online
Kathy.
No.
Oh, the joys of doing videos, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yay, we're going to make it.
Yay!
And then the last part would be just to fold this one down and fold this under here. And then what you want to do is slip that in there, cut it off. Let me get a clip here so we can do that. Let's put this here, and we're going to clip it to about right there. Okay, and we'll take this open here, making sure we've got our binding stuff down there. Lift that up and fold it under, like so. Use our little clip. And last step here is just sewing this last seam here. And there you go, all done on the serger. And all that's left to do is to turn this over, and however you like to put your binding down, either with your sewing machine or whatever, and you've got all finished just like so.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Patty.